what I will do is I will save this image while I'm talking, and I will post it on your post.
Okay. Yeah.
That we're talking about, so you can look at it. I don't know if you've seen this yet,
I
but
certainly
I
haven't.
just want to show. What?
I have not. I have not seen it, so
Okay, cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it hasn't been that well promoted. So, okay, and I'll tag them. The Freedom Block.
Nice.
Okay. So, okay, it's coming up on your Facebook post of the show. Okay.
Okay.
And so these are demands that they have put together. Now, these are the first demands that I have seen, okay? And there's 5 different ones, and I thought that they were quite interesting, okay?
Oh, this is awesome.
What?
This is awesome. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, right? Pretty neat, huh? I thought so. And like some of the highlights that I like about it is it talks about training and mental health. You know, the mental health and mental well-being of a police officer, it is difficult to be a police officer, okay?
Yeah.
That is a brutally challenging career. And so they talk about, you know, helping with that. My personal favorite point that I think gets to the meat of it is point number 4, and it says that we are demanding that the police auditor, who we have in Akron, I don't know who the police auditor is, but we do have him, be given the necessary tools to investigate properly and discipline rogue police officers, and that a community civilian review board is made up of civilians from each ward and instituted immediately. These tools include, but not are limited to, subpoena power and disciplinary power to ensure that the Black community is able to build trust that rogue officers will be disciplined and removed from Black communities where they have done harm. So I don't know. How does that sound to you?
I like it. I love it. I
Me
even
too.
recommended that to my one daughter. She's in Columbus, and I said, I don't know how they do it, but see if you can get on that board.
Yeah. So I'm very interested in this. These folks, there's a reverend, and he's a great guy. Let me see if I can't. What is his name? Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get you his name, because he's a very cool guy. Ray Green Jr. is his name. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Green Jr. Let me get you the definition. I think he's a leader in the group. He is. He studied pastoral theology at the Ohio Christian University. He lives here in Akron. He's the president of My Brother's Keeper, Neil Inc. I don't know what that is. And then he says an organizer at Ohio Organizing Collaborative. So I have met Pastor Green, and he's a very cool dude. He's very cool. So I am a big fan of this. Now, let me back up. I want to make very clear that I am only a supporter for the African American community. I am not trying to push policy. I am definitely not trying to push strategy. I am me, and I have some sort of platform, and I have read that African Americans have asked us to stand up for the African American community. And so I am playing to that point, that they have asked all of us to stand up for them. And so I am doing it. But, and I have, as you probably know, some very strong opinions and ideas.
Yes, I do. That's why you're here.
And my wife reminds me in a very strategic way, she knows how to handle me, that I am not a leader in this, and I have to be careful to not send a negative message or a message that is not in line with the overarching message of whatever the Akron African American community wants to portray. Okay, there is an emerging leader, I believe, named Sean Mansfield, who was very instrumental in the Saturday 6 Mile march, and he is putting another march together this Saturday, again at noon. I believe it starts at the police station, and I like him a lot. I like Sean Mansfield a lot. He is smart. He has experience. He is charismatic. He is strong. I'm down with Sean Mansfield so far. I mean, he hasn't done anything that is like, and so I got Reverend Ray Green. I got Sean Mansfield, and those for me are people that I am very in touch with. Okay. That I am listening to them and trying to play off of their ideas. But I will say this: I think that the demands are still developing. So the clearest ones I have are from the Freedom Bloc, and I wanted to share those with you.
Oh, I appreciate that so much, because I am all of the things that I mentioned that I take upon and I think about and that get consumed in my head, you know, and I get overwhelmed. And it's like, okay, we hear you. I hear you. My daughters, they march. They're doing all of the above, and they are fierce. Right on.
You raise strong women.
Yes.
You raise strong women.
Yes, and I would never want to break that spirit. On the other hand, I want like conversations like you and I are having, that I know and it's impossible sometimes, because here's the thing. This is not news. It's so sad that this is not news. That we had, you know, the Ferguson. We've had these. This is what I hate about when I say, you know, the curse is history repeating itself. What can we, other than arresting and making sure that these guys lose their jobs, which, by the way, could we get busy with arresting the other three? It's so frustrating, you know. So that's your politics you mentioned. Yeah, that is definitely. I am so frustrated with that. But beyond disciplinary action, there needs to be, you know, I think of discussing movies like Internal Affairs and things like that. There needs to be more of like, I mean, I was afraid to act up in a store with my dad. I knew better. And I knew, and I had a fear. You know, my dad didn't spank me. I had a fear that he might. And and so, you know, if my sister and I started fighting in the store, I mean, we had fear. There has to be something in place for these police officers without deterring their spirit. Because whether you think that they need to be there or not, whether you think they should all resign and, oh, let's live in this glorious society, that's not what's going to change. And we need quicker action, and we need promises, and we need things that are going to take place. But we also need, instead of millions and millions and millions of protesters every day, it's like, okay, now out of these protesters, let's pull some really good flowers and have them represent this. Now we have a task force, if you will. I don't know what else to call it, but, you know, like you talked about the review board. I think Columbus is doing something like that as well. But we need to have leadership on this, not just a sweet person with a megaphone that really can't be heard. We are a week into this, and deaths and violence and distraught in this nation, that my overwhelming piece of me says, how are we going to recover? I don't care what line of work you're in. We're affected by the virus and now this. And so, but we work. That's what we do here. So, and you mentioned the rich, and I mean, there used to be a show, The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. I mean, I'm not. I mean, if they worked for it and they just weren't doing illegal activities to get there, I don't got a problem with somebody being. I just want to be healthy and be able to get on. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But they
Yes.
they are frustrating because now they are Hollywood, who hasn't been heard from and didn't get to have their movies in theaters and all this stuff. But now they're coming out and really frustrating a lot of people, if you will. What a weak word. Frustrate. Who gives a shit if you're frustrated? Who cares? It's such a pansy, sissy ass word. Who cares? But I don't know what other one to pull from right now. I'm all, But now they're saying, okay, let's give our money to the protesters that got arrested. Pardon me, not that I should judge what you do with your money, but give it to Sage Lewis for the homeless. Give it to these people who need to rebuild their business. Give it to these black people who really and truly could use it in some of these oppressed neighborhoods. That would be a statement that we're making a fucking difference. That, to me, if you want to do something with your money, do whatever the hell you want with it, but do something that, what statement, what did they expect for us to do? The Timberlakes and the Beyonce, what did they expect? People that are frustrated about what's happening to our country, what did they expect us to do when they said, we're just going to, the people that got arrested, we're going to put money towards their bail. You can't, that's politics, Sage, for me, in my opinion.
Sure.
That's playing. Now you're messing around. Now you're messing with people. Okay, $2,000 bond. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the cost is. And times that by how many people did they say were arrested? Say 600, 700, 800. I don't know how many at this point. 1,700. You do the math and think of, not that they should sit and rot in jail. No, but think if they took half of that and put it toward some of this mental health you're talking about that some of these officers need, some of this mental health that black and white people need, and the hatred that's within. You look at some of that. I want to get into the media a little bit too, but you look at some of the faces of these people that are not protesting, those people that are creating the violence. It is venom. Their eyes are filled with hate, which is totally taking away from George Floyd and the Ferguson. I mean, it just is, okay, so is that the media saying, woohoo, now we're the star. Now we're going to force down your throat what we choose to put on our television screen. What about the media and lies? And tell me where you are with that.
All right. Do you remember the BP oil disaster down in the Gulf of Mexico?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that year, my wife got me probably the best birthday present of my life. She got me a week-long immersion photography, one-on-one experience with a war photographer, with a guy named Zariah. This guy had been to Afghanistan, Iraq, very popular at the time, amazing photographer.
Wait one second. Boy, did you marry the right person. That is awesome. And does she know your heart? That is so cool.
It was beautiful.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
So, did you want me to wait?
Or? No. I want to hear the rest of it.
Oh,
I just had to interject and give your wife some props there. That's I've never. Yeah, I didn't even know a gift like
I could
that
do
existed.
A whole show on the amazingness that is my wife. Having to live with me is crazy. But in my defense, she will tell you she knew what she was getting into. She said she didn't want to marry some accountant. She wanted to marry the musician.
Okay.
So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyway.
All right.
So she knew. I have it on tape.
Oh my God.
So
I have it on tape. I'm going to record this, honey.
Yes. So